Here we're going to look at exponents and operations with exponents. When we multiply terms and the variables portions are the same, let's say that we have x squared times x to the fourth, then you know that that means x squared, x times x, and then times x times x times x times x times x. So that means we have 2 factors of x here and 4 factors of x here. So altogether we would have 6 factors of x. So the law tells us then that x to the second times x to the fourth will be x to the 2 plus 4, which is x to the 6th. If we have an expression, let's say like x squared y times xy squared, where we have several variables involved, we do the same thing. The like portions, x squared times x, we add the exponents, and that'll give us x to the third. And then the y times the y squared, again, we add the exponents, and we'll get y to the third. Now, you could write this out, and if you wrote it out, this would be x times y times x times y times y. And you see why we add the exponents, because exponent tells you how many factors of the variable you have. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, which is what we said. And then we have 1, 2, 3 factors of y, which is what we said. And we can get that by adding the exponents. Now let's look at what happens when we divide. So if we had x to the fourth over x to the sixth, this would be the same as x times x times x times x, and then at the bottom we'd have x used as a factor 6 times. So let's divide out our common factors. And what do we have left? We have 2 factors of x in the denominator. So our answer would be 1 over x to the second. Now, how could we get that same answer? If we look over here, we subtract the exponents, and 6 minus 4 is 2. The larger factor, the larger exponent is in the denominator, so that puts the answer term in the denominator, and since the numerator we divided out, that's where the 1 comes from. So here we would just simply say this divides out, and we subtract the exponents, and we have 2, and that gives us the 1 over x to the second. Let's look at one more example. If we have x squared y to the fourth times x y squared over x to the third y to the second. So let's see what we have here. Let's simplify the numerator first. And if we simplify the numerator first, we'll have x, and we'll add our exponents. So 2 times 1 will make that x to the third, y to the sixth, over our x to the third y. And now we want to simplify vertically. So this is x to the third y. So we've got x to the third in the numerator, x to the third in the denominator, so those divide out. And we have y to the sixth in the numerator and y to the first in the denominator. And when we divide, we subtract the exponents. So 6 minus 1 is 5. And the larger factor is in the numerator, so the answer is in the numerator. So that makes us have y to the fifth as our final answer. So what you do, you say, well, how do I decide whether the factor goes in the numerator or denominator? Okay, you look to see where the factor is with the largest exponent. And if the factor with the largest exponent is in the numerator, then in the answer, that factor goes in the numerator. If the factor with the largest denominator is in the denominator, with the largest exponent is in the denominator, then that factor will be in the denominator of your answer.